What we do here is go back, 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 back.
Hey guys, and welcome back. Well, Rae Carruth, the former Carolina Panther player, is in the news. And he's breaking his silence behind bars, hoping for a relationship with his son. Now, if you don't remember Rae Carruth, he was the football player that was very adamant about his girlfriend being pregnant. He had told her to get an abortion. She wouldn't, and he paid someone to kill her. But before she died, she was able to call 911 and tell them. And she was like 8 months pregnant, and she lived for a couple of days. She lived long enough to tell on him, and she died, but they were able to save the little boy. But he has birth defects, cerebral palsy, I believe. But in all the time he's been in prison, he's been saying he didn't do it. He's innocent. Even the people who he hired to kill her said, that they all said that we were guilty, but he never said that he was guilty. But now it came in the form of a neatly handwritten letter, 15 pages folded inside an envelope from the Sampson Correctional Institution in Clint, North Carolina. Now, the carefully penned words offered nearly 2 decades of thoughts from a man who made headlines in the worst of ways and then disappeared. Now, Rae Carruth has spent the last 17 years of his life behind bars. Now, in 2001, the star Carolina Panther wide receiver was convicted of charges related to the murder of Sherika Adams, a beautiful 24-year-old who she was 7 months pregnant with his child. Now, she was shot 4 times while driving her BMW by someone Carruth hired to pull the trigger. Now, the story made national and international news. The thought of a 1997 first-round draft pick having the soon-to-be mother of his child killed in order to avoid paying child support didn't make sense. But that's what police said happened. He was arrested twice in the month after the shooting, first in November 1999 on charges of conspiracy to commit murder and attempted murder, among other charges. Now, he was arrested a second time a month later in December of 1999 after Adams died. Now, FBI agents found Carruth hiding in the trunk of a car in the parking lot of a Best Western hotel in Tennessee. He, along with 3 co-defendants, was charged with murder. Now, a little more than a year later, in January 2001, Carruth was convicted of conspiracy to commit murder, shooting into an occupied dwelling, and using an instrument to destroy an unborn child. He was found not guilty of the first-degree murder charges. Now, he was sentenced to 18 to 24 years in prison, and he's scheduled to be released this fall. Now, motivated to break his silence, during the trial, Carruth didn't take the stand, and aside from one interview he did with CNN early in his sentence, the public has never heard his side of the story. Now, instead, the narrative has been written by a bright-eyed boy with an infectious smile. Carruth's son, Chancellor Lee Adams, is 18 years old now, and Sherika's mother, Sandra Adams, has been by her grandson's side as he fought to overcome the challenges that come along with his cerebral palsy diagnosis. Now, Chancellor's joy is apparent, and Carruth can feel it even behind bars. While he's only met his son twice, both times in the early years of his life, Carruth has kept a close eye on Chancellor through frequent newspapers and television stories. And he says Chancellor alone is the reason he finally decided to break his silence as his October release date quickly approaches. Now, an open letter to Sandra Adams is the way Carruth has chosen to share his side of the story. Now, over the years, Chancellor grandmother has done interviews with that Carruth claims haven't always been truthful. Now, therefore, he spent days working on a letter that will offer his version of the truth to Adams and the world for the first time. Now, Carruth said he long ago accepted his lot as a social pariah. He knows people may hate him even more after reading his words, but he only seems to care about one person. Carruth says he wants to be a father to his son. Now, the letter addressed to Miss Adams was sent to WBTV, not her personally. He says that because he's written her before and received no response, this way he can apologize to her once and for all for what happened to her only child. Now, the call from Sampson Prison. Saturday afternoon, the phone rang in the WBTV conference room. The recording announced a call from the Sampson Correctional Institution. Now, on the other end of the line was the voice of a man that used to be recognizable from post-game press conference. 17 years in prison hadn't changed. Carruth's voice from that of the Panther player captured on a tape in the WBTV archives. Now, the call had to come in the late afternoon after he finished his shift as a barber at the prison barbershop. He works there on Fridays and Saturdays. Now, since being incarcerated, Carruth has earned his certification as a barber from the North Carolina Board of Barber Examiners. Now, at first, Carruth spoke cautiously. He always been weary of reporters, and he said watching the way his story had been covered over the past 2 decades hadn't done anything to ease his hesitation. His call to WBTV was arranged by a longtime family friend who reached out to WBTV reporter after Carruth decided to write the letter. Now, while he was eager to get his side of the story out, he wasn't excited about speaking on the record. He finally agreed to a recorded interview after some back and forth with a reporter. And he says, I take responsibility for what happened. I feel like if I did it in the open, it would put an end to the lies. If I say publicly, Miss Adams, I apologize. Miss Adams, I take responsibility for what happened. That she can no longer get on TV and do an interview and say Rae has never apologized to me, Carruth said. Now, Carruth wouldn't answer questions about the specifics of the night Sharika was shot multiple times, but he does say he takes full responsibility for her absence. I'm apologizing for the loss of her daughter. I'm apologizing for the impairment of my son, Carruth said. I feel responsible for everything that happened, and I just want her to know that truly I am sorry for everything. He still wishes he could go back to 1999. If I could change anything, I'd change the whole situation. His mother would still be here, and I wouldn't be where I am at. So that's what I want to change. I want the incident to never have happened at all. Now, from the beginning, the story read that Sharika was Carruth's girlfriend. In fact, a neighbor told WBTV the night of the shooting he heard Sharika tell police her boyfriend, Rae Carruth, was responsible. Now, but he tells a different story. Now, in the letter, Carruth addresses their relationship and the alleged motive that he had her killed because she wouldn't get an abortion. Now, Carruth says the two were never in a relationship. Instead, he says the two had just casually hooked up a handful of times. Now, Carruth admits he brought up the possibility of abortion when Sharika told him she might be pregnant. But according to him, he never broached the subject again once she expressed her desire to keep the child. I should be raising my son. His mother should be raising her son. Now, while Carruth touches on many topics in the letter, he says his main goal in writing it was to hopefully build a relationship with Chancellor one day. Carruth, now 44, feels like he owes him. I let him down as he came into this world, and the only way that I can make that right, and the only way I can work out my relationship with my son is to be there for him. Adams have said in past interviews she plans to be at the prison gates with Chancellor when his father's released.
Well, my take on this whole thing is, I mean, I'm glad he has learned since, because before his prison sentence, he was just a egotistic, self-centered person. It was just Rae Carruth was the shit. That's what he thought. And when the trial came on, they had all the past girlfriends to come and talk about him, and it was many of them who had gotten pregnant by him said that he told one girl that if she didn't have an abortion, he would have her killed. So I still think he's not taking full. I understand, and that's good that he apologized to Sharika's mother, but he still is not taking responsibility for everything. I mean, he's still lying because, now I want to set the record straight. She wasn't my girlfriend. What does that have anything to do with it? You laid with her. You hooked up, as he called it. You hooked up with her. So that makes it better to say, oh, this was just a girl he was hooking up with, and he didn't want her to have his baby. I mean, still, it's wrong. So, if he thinks that much to get that out there, I hope he's changed, but that really rubbed me the wrong way. He's not, we were not in a relationship. So what? You got the girl pregnant, and even the defendant, the guy who pulled the trigger, who you see here, he even said that was the reason. When he paid them, he said he wanted to get rid of her. So, he's not telling the stories. He's still not admitting, yes, I had these people to kill her because I did, bull. But I do hope, I know this is a long video, y'all, but I do hope that he does build a relationship with his son, because his son really needs him. I mean, Miss Adams has been taking care of him since day one, and I'm sure it's hard for her, as the days go by, because I mean, this young man is going to need help his whole entire life. So I mean, he is responsible, as he says, for his mother not being here. So I hope he is sincere about that. I wonder why, if his mom is still living, and I wonder why she, haven't stepped up to the plate and helped with the raising of the son. But I don't know. It's never came out about what she feels and how she feels about it. I know that, that Rae was her only son, and you know. But anyway, I hope this young man does step up to the plate, and because this all could have been avoided. I mean, having that girl to have her baby, I mean, the child support that he would have been paying, all the money he made, it wouldn't have been he wouldn't even missed it. I mean, this man, okay, he's saying, "Oh, that's not true. I didn't have her killed because well, why did you have her killed? Duh. You're taking responsibility, but you're not telling everything." So anyway, I just hope everything works out for the young man, Sharika's son, and I do hope Rae Carruth step up to the plate and do what he said he's going to do. All right, guys, what do you think? Thank you so much for watching this long video. I hope you will like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And as in always in party, be blessed, y'all. Bye.
What we do here is go back.